Hey guys, I posted some of my story today and a few people swiped up and I felt like it was a good video to talk about, to explain what I meant by what I posted on my story. Sorry for putting my hands in the camera like that. That was weird. But I posted, everything you want out of life is on the other side of ego death. Everything that you want out of life is on the other side of the death of your ego. Let's talk examples, right? Because that's what I like to use. It makes people relate and understand. If you want money, but you don't have money, unless you're the smartest person on earth like Elon Musk or somebody, you're gonna have to learn from a lot of other people who are more successful than you, who are smarter than you, who have more money than you, to be able to have the brain power and the perspective and the wisdom to make a lot of money. But that sounds great, but what you're not understanding is you're going to have to drop your ego for a long time while doing that. You're going to have conversations with people who have more money than you, and you are going to have to be blunt about the fact that you have more money than me. I know that. I'm less than you. I understand that. What can you teach me? If you can't drop your ego, whatever they're trying to teach you will land on deaf ears. You can say, oh, well, they got lucky. Oh, well, their father helped them do this. Oh, well, this, that, and the other. If you can't drop your ego and just genuinely accept the fact that someone is where you want to be and you're not there yet and you need their help, then it's going to be hard for you to quite grasp the knowledge and the expertise and perspective that they're giving you. Another thing, if you want a successful marriage and you don't have one, you don't have a girlfriend, say you don't have a girl at all, you have to be willing to lower your ego and reach out to somebody that has what you want, a successful marriage, a successful relationship, and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. You do. You are above me. Teach me. I'm nothing. You are. I'm nothing. You are. You have to repetitively do that in life. Because whatever the things that you want are, like I said, on the other side of ego death. If you can die to your ego, die to your flesh, you can constantly learn and seek knowledge from those who have what you want, and it won't land on deaf ears because you have no ego. You have to roll around with the mindset for a long time of, I am nothing, I am nobody. Teach me and give me all of the wisdom that you have so that I can become somebody. I see this in business all the time. And it's not just a business thing, it's a life thing in general. I see people who have never done anything to a certain amount, yet they want to sit there and say that they know what they're doing. Say that, oh, well, if I had the money, I could run the business just like him. I just don't have the money. I know what he's doing. I know what I could be doing. You know, you can talk all you want, but without actions and proof, that's all a bunch of fluff. So if you roll through life with a huge ego and you're not willing to be open to criticism, you're not willing to learn, you're not willing to seek. That's the main thing I see is a lot of people I've met, and I was the same way for a long time. A lot of people I still know, though, that have big egos, they'll never seek. And when I say seek, they'll never be the one to reach out. They might let someone talk to them, but they'll never go and take the first step. That's a problem. Most of the time in life, people are not just going to come to you. People aren't just going to help you because they want to. Let's be honest. You have to seek. You have to be able to understand, I am nothing, you are. Let me learn from you. Reach out. You know, in the past year, as my real estate business got better, and I'm good at it, I make money. But then I also have lowered my ego every day, knowing that there's other people that do better than me, that have what I want, and I don't know as much. So what do? I've sent DMs to real estate guys all over the country, girls that are way older, that have done it, that are more successful. And I'll introduce myself, my situation, what I want out of the conversation, that I respect them, that they're above me and that I just want to learn. I had to take a call for one of my clients, but what I was saying is, I'll talk to a lot of these guys, girls, and sometimes they get on the phone with me and they talk to me. Sometimes they don't say that I'm worth their time. And it's crazy. You would think you'd get discouraged, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. I don't have an ego. I know I'm less than you, and I just said that. And if you're not willing to, help someone out genuinely, then maybe, your perspective wasn't as valued as I quite thought. But if you can't live life without an ego, you'll never learn anything and you'll never grow. Like to my last video, is very much about personal growth and personal development. If you have an ego, your brain psychologically tells yourself that you know better, I know how to do it, you don't, regardless of the person's situation. I've met a lot of people who, okay, I'll give an example. So I coach real estate agents, and I know a lot of friends and have a lot of people in that space that also coach other businesses, high ticket sales, door-to-door sales, stuff like that. And a lot of people frown upon like mentorships and coaching, yet that's what college is. Yet that's what an apprenticeship is. Yet that's what a lot of things are, that it's just different now, so you don't agree with it. And that's an ego problem. A lot of people won't buy from other people because they're the same age as them or they're younger. That's another thing I've seen. So a kid who is a fitness coach and makes $60,000 a month online as a fitness coach, and then the 30-year-old who is also a fitness coach but only makes $10,000 a month won't ever reach out to the 21-year-old who makes $60,000 a month because his ego won't let him, because he's younger. He goes, well, he must be scamming, he must have got lucky, he must have this, that, and the other. His ego, the 30-year-old's ego, can't accept the fact that this person knows something that I don't, and I need to drop my ego and learn from them so that I can have what he has. Because knowledge and experience and perception and skills don't have an age number. They don't have a demographic. They don't have anything. Anybody can, be something at a certain age, and you may develop faster than someone else. You may develop faster than me. I'm going to seek you without an ego to learn and know what you know that I don't. You see this a lot with races. Like, I can't lie. And I'm the farthest person from a racist, but white people often discredit a successful black business owner because of that. Their ego won't let them say their ego is like, they must have cheated. Like, this is because they're raised, this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, we're all human beings. We all have the same intellectual ability. We all have the same capability. Your ego is getting in the way of your success because you can't accept the fact that someone of a different skin tone than you is where you want to be. So you have to psychologically trick your brain into saying, oh, they must have cheated to get there. This must have been luck, yada, yada, yada. If you can just drop your ego in life will get a lot easier for you. And on the other side of that, when you don't have an ego, your feelings never get hurt. Judgment doesn't hurt you. Failure doesn't hurt you. Because it's a surrender to yourself. It's a surrender to your ego and your brain. It's arrogant. It's very arrogant. If you walk around life thinking you know everything and nobody can teach you anything, congratulations, you'll never learn anything. And whatever your capability and intellectual ability is, you will remain there from age 18 to age 80. It's very arrogant to think that you know everything in this life. Do you know how infinitesimally small we are as a race, as the human race, as a species? If you think you're running something and you think you know everything, you're wrong, my friend. If you think you have a good grasp on life, you're very wrong, my friend. There's this thing called Jesus and there's this thing called God, and he created such a vast, complex earth. You'll never understand that. So why do you have the ego thinking that you do, thinking that you do have a good grasp on everything? I used to think of my parents that they knew everything. Oh, that mom and dad know everything. And then as I got older, I was like, they've never been 55 years old before. They don't know how to pull from their Social Security. They don't know what it's like to be 60 and deal with the body pains of that. There's a lot of things they still don't know. Yet I think they know everything, or I thought they knew everything. If you go through life arrogant with a big ego, you'll never get to where you want to be. You'll never acquire the things you want to do or want to have. You'll never live up to your full potential because you never allow growth to happen. And that's very arrogant, and it's very selfish. Because if you think about it, everyone wants a family, everyone wants a partner. Husband, wife, father, mother. If you're a woman watching this, I'm sure eventually you would love to be the best version of yourself for your husband. You would love to be the best mother you could be. But there will be a day where, you have that first child and you don't know how to be a mother. You can either lie to yourself and tell yourself that, oh, well, I'll just figure it out. Oh, I'll just, do my best. I don't need to read a book about it. I don't need to ask a mother of 10 kids. I don't need to ask a grandmother. And you're doing a disservice to that child because you've maxed your capabilities out and now you're going to parent based on those capabilities. When in reality, if you dropped your ego and you weren't so arrogant about it and seeked wise counsel, you could learn how to be the best mother that you could possibly be. And now give your child the best motherly advice, experience that they could have had and make them the best version of their self. That's why it's selfish, because it's not all about you. It's very rare people in life are alone forever. There's always someone that's affected by you, for the most part. So if you have a high ego and you're not willing to learn, like I've said, you've maxed yourself out, you're doing a disservice to all those around you who could have learned from you. Now they won't grow because of that, because of your arrogancy, your ego. I see this in business. A lot of men and women, ego's involved a lot. People can get up to $1 million a year, very successful, very, very egotistical. And they're not willing to learn from the guy who made 10 million a year because their ego won't let them. Because they're like, well, I got to $1 million a year by myself. I did this by myself. And it's like, first of all, number one, God gave you all that. You didn't do anything. Number two, you didn't get there by your own understanding. I'm sure people poured into you and perspectives were given, and that's what made you into the version you are today. So money gets in the way of ego and perspective a lot because, like I said, that example for the 1 million man versus the $10 million man, he won't ever drop his ego to get to that level because he thinks he'll get there by himself because he thinks he got to $1 million by himself. It's a very common characteristic among human beings and as a species. And like I said, if you think you have a good grasp on things, you don't, and you never will. I never will. I'll never understand everything. But I can definitely drop my ego and try to understand everything. And the only way you can do that is by dying to your flesh and dying to your ego and seeking those who have what you want and asking them questions and learning and growing. Because like I said, that's the only way to become the true best version of yourself. Everything you want out of life is on the other side of ego death. That's why I never got that from anywhere. That came from my brain, came from my experience. Everything you want out of this life is on the other side of your ego dying. Once you understand that, people around you will feel that. You'll be more of a service to this world. You'll reach your full potential and you will fulfill and get everything you want out of this life. Everything you aspire to have, everything you aspire to be is on the other side of dying to your ego. I'll see you in the next one.